so at this point, we have answered the first three questions that the city wants to know. So we can now estimate how many people are potentially at risk. And so again, that's going to be the maximum estimate. Hopefully it's an overestimate. We can now say how many properties are either completely within or partially within the inundation zone. So how many properties are at risk. And we can say which segments of roads are should we expect to be flooded in the event of a tsunami. But we have two questions left to answer, one of which we're going to use the model to answer. And so the next question is, does the city need to build more tsunami warning sirens, or are the warning sirens sufficient? So the steps involved in that are pretty simple. We've just got two more things to do, and we'll have it answered. So we want to do two things now. We need to buffer the tsunami warning sirens. And so y'all have already seen what the buffer does. So I'm not going to belabor this point too much. But we're going to make the sirens the input feature. And we just want to buffer those sirens by 1,000 meters. So we're going to say 1,000 meters is the approximate range of the warning siren where it's loud enough to hear it. Anything beyond a kilometer and you might be out of range, you might not be able to hear it, it might not make it through the walls of a property, for instance, or of a building, for instance. So we're going to set the distance to 1,000 meters. And now we've got one more step. After we do the buffer, we're going to use the erase tool. So this tool does exactly what it says. We are going to use this tool to erase the warning siren buffer from the properties at risk layer. So this is going to say any sirens or any properties that are within range of the warning siren, we can get rid of that, get rid of those properties or those parts of properties. So we'll only be left with parcels, properties that are out of range of the warning siren. So this will tell us, are the warning sirens effective, or are there any properties that are outside of that zone that we're going to need to maybe add another warning tower. And so the erase tool is quite simple as well. Under input features, the first one we're going to go with is going to be the properties at risk. And then under the erase feature, we're just going to use the sirens buffer. We'll click OK. We will auto layout our model once again. And now we are ready to run. And so it's just doing the last little bit. And now our model is done. And so we can now add that to the table of contents. So I forgot to check the add to display, so I have to find it in the geodatabase, but it's simple to just click and drag. And so we'll change the color to something bright so it stands out. We'll see if there are any properties at risk. And it looks, at present, there's not much going on except maybe a little bit down in the south part of the city. So other than that, the rest of the properties look like they're covered.